Maha Yogi Asanest Fire. Today, I will be talking about a very interesting subject. I'll be talking about the cause of all evil. What is evil and its cause? Maha Yogi is a channel by me, Maha Yogi. I created this channel to study esoteric knowledge, to further better quality, as well as of other people who find aid in such content. On this channel, we discuss esoteric knowledge from various spiritual traditions, including the Western esoteric teachings, esoteric teachings, as well as the Eastern Oriental traditions and esotericism. Now, please kindly subscribe if you are new, and please like the video to make sure that it reaches a wider publicity, and make sure that you share to help someone in need. So before we continue, I started this channel way back in 2019 because I had the desire to spread spiritual knowledge. So this channel is solely for that. The spiritual journey is not a substitute for professional advice from professionals who are qualified. Do not take these teachings as cure or substitute for medicine that you are currently undertaking. These videos are for educational purposes and for nothing more. If you find help, it will benefit you, of course. It will be coincidental and it would be an honor. However, do not take this as professional advice. Greetings. I am from South Africa. Thank you for joining us. Make sure that you keep the likes up, and then I will be beginning with the subject describing the causes of evil. Yesterday I did a live video and I received very good feedback. Greetings, Joe Carlo. Kanwar Bhan from India. Namaste. Yes. So thank you for joining us. So today we will be talking about the causes of evil. The causes of evil. I remember one time, I think it was 2 months ago, I was on my bicycle, as most of you. Okay, nice to meet you, Yash. Welcome to Maha Yogi channel, which was currently known as the Way of Dharma 108. So as some of you who are close to me might know, I really enjoy cycling, and this one time I was meditating. I was feeling very sad. I was feeling very depressed. So I was meditating and asking myself, why does God create evil? Or rather, why does God? My name is Maha Yogi. I call myself Maha Yogi. You can email me at arsonist.fya@gmail.com. I might share my government name, but here on the channel, I really ever share such information for security purposes, of course. Thank you. So I was asking myself, why does evil exist? And God, being powerful, so um, all-knowing, so intelligent. Yes, that's Maha Yogi. Yes, that's right. Thank you. So I was asking myself, why does God allow evil into this world? And then shortly a voice came into my head and told me, no, the question was this: why does God allow evil on this earth? Why does God allow evil to prevail? Why can't God just stop evil just like that? Because God is supposed to be all powerful, created all things, and so such is power. None can defeat God. God has the ability to switch off evil just like that. And then a voice came into my mind. The voice was like, God allows every one of us to be alive simply because there's an important role that every one of us plays. There's an important role that every one of us plays. So we are important to God and the entire creation. Another answer came in the form of this explanation: God loves us all, and if He allows, or if God allows evil to exist among us, along with us, it shows that God loves everyone and everything equally, because everything is important to God equally. So now let's go back to the Bible. I don't like talking too much about the Bible because the Bible has people who often misinterpret it, and some people use it for their manipulation. So I don't like reading too much of the Bible. So now let's read on this verse. It's Isaiah chapter 45, verse 7. This verse, it reads as thus: I form the light, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. So I, the Lord, do all these things. This is a translation where God is described as creating evil. You understand? And this verse, I was acquainted to it thanks to one of my gurus, Bal Kadmon. So God creates evil, creates peace, creates war, creates happiness, creates darkness, and creates light. So now let's go into the more advanced teachings. So now we've established that God created evil. Now we understand the origins of evil and why evil exists. No, we understand the origins of evil. Let us now try to understand why evil is important. Okay, let us move further. When you go far into the West, you find a philosophy which comprises of the ancient teachings of Egypt. To those of us who are in South Africa, we call it Hermetics, which is Egypt, comprised of the teachings of Egypt and the teachings of ancient Greece. we find a very interesting character by the name of Tahuti or Jehuti, which some other Western people couldn't pronounce correctly and resorted to doing what? To naming him Thoth. So the combination of these philosophic interpretations or traditions is one of such whose name is Hermes. Hermes is a Greek god who is also a fusion of the ancient Kemetic or Egyptian deity Tahuti, the scribe of the gods, the god of knowledge, wisdom, magic, and intellect. So, in his study of magic, or rather, in what the Western Hemisphere calls his study and practice of magic, they termed it Hermetics. So, when we go into Hermetics to try and understand the origins of evil, for those of you who are in South Africa, I suggest you buy this book called The Kybalion. The Kybalion is a book outlining the 7 Hermetic laws of Tahuti, which is the aforementioned god of the Egyptians. So when you go into this Kybalion book, you read about the principle of polarity. Or rather, let us start first by dissecting this matter. In some parts of the Bible and in some parts of the Hermetic teachings, it is said that nothing exists outside of God, and then nothing can exist without God. I hope you understand this. So this not existing means that you cannot exist without the permission of God, and you also cannot exist without his governance. You understand? So we all exist within the parameters of God and God's governance. So they also say that nothing exists except God. So now, where are we going with this information? We are going to the fact that God is in actuality evil in his other aspect. The Bible says, I form the light and create the darkness. I make peace and create evil. So now that we've established that God creates both sides of the coin, and now that we've discovered that there is nothing that can exist without God's governance, or there's nothing that exists beside, or rather apart from God. God is the only existence. So now we see that God is in actuality evil. God is in actuality evil. So let's go and dissect this subject. why I am saying God is in actuality evil. God is omnipresent and omnipotent. Omnipresent meaning he exists everywhere, or rather, you can find God in everything. In the Hindus traditions, or rather in Buddhism, there was a time when somebody was trying to find God, and then they traveled around the world and could only see one person. The person that was seen was a prostitute. Again and again, this traveler traveled only to find out that they see the prostitute. The prostitute then told this individual that the prostitute is in actuality an aspect of God. So God is in everything and everyone. So now let us go to the 7 Hermetic principles. There is the principle of polarity. What I like about these 7 Hermetic principles is that one further verifies the other. Like for instance, this law of polarity. The law of polarity says good and bad are the same. They only differ in degree. What does it mean? Hot and cold are the same thing. You understand? Okay. How are they the same thing? Hot is just cold, which is hot. And then cold is hot, which is cold. And then it goes back to what? Everything is vibration. All is in constant motion. So if heat is vibration, that is hot. And cold is vibration, that is cold. My back is giving me pains. You need to forgive me, guys. I'm sorry, it's been a while since I've done this. Let me quickly change my position. So heat is vibration, that is hot, and cold is vibration, that is cold. So good and bad are two sides of the same coin. If you go to this other side, you find bad. What is bad? Bad is good, that is bad. And then what is good? Good is bad, that is good. So good and bad are equally important for existence to happen. Let us go deeply into it. Let us go deeply into it. Suppose maybe you have to provide electricity. You need both positive and negative, right? Let's say you are using a battery to provide electricity. You need positive and negative. Positive on a battery charge cannot work alone, and the negative on a battery charge cannot work alone. The interrelation of these two forces provides electricity. It is so also in creation. You need positive energy and negative energy to animate one reality. The positive and negative are parts of that one reality. Positive and negative are just the same thing, they are different in vibration and in degree. So we go back to the subject that God is all there is. So God is in actuality positive and negative charge, giving power, or rather animating this creation. I think I have explained it eloquently. I hope you will derive benefit from this. Let us go deeper into our composition, the human soul. The soul has many other faculties, as the Orient would teach us. It has intellect, which is called as buddhi. It has antakarana, which are internal instruments. It has mana, which is mind. Chitta, which is the, what is it? Chitta, I think chitta is the subconscious mind. I'd like to think so, and I'm sorry if I'm making any mistakes. But there's many other internal, the antakarana inside of us, our soul, and there's higher attributes that we carry than the mind. There's other latent powers like siddhis and other such characteristics in our psyche. So internally, we have two sides of the mind, the positive and the negative, or rather the feminine and the masculine mind, right? It's all the same thing, male, female. A male is a female that is a male, and a female is a male that is a female, you understand? So it is the same thing. Let us go into this feminine and masculine mind. So now, what is the feminine mind? The feminine mind is the mind that is responsible for imagining things. You understand? And then there's the masculine mind, which is also known as your awareness. Simply being aware of the mind imagining, you are employing two parts of the mind, which are the feminine and masculine mind. So, what am I saying exactly? Even your mind has two aspects. So, good and bad will always depend on each other to sustain reality. And sometimes it might feel like the evil is overpowering the good in its proportions, but it's not the case, because good is very, very high vibrational, and it's heavy. You understand? I don't know if this is the right word, but it is often said in religious spheres of Christianity that should you encounter God or see God physically, you will die. And so it is said. So good is too much to be encountered in large proportions, because it's simply stronger than negativity. So if it seems like there's too much evil on this plane, it is in equal proportion to good, meaning the little good that is apparent in this plane of existence is actually what is required to balance out the evil that is in existence. So the cause of evil is God. And then we go back into the Kybalion, the law of cause and effect, which is also karma. Karma, or rather the cause, or causal plane. The cause of all is the creator. Nothing can exist apart from the creator. So the cause of evil is the creator. The cause of good is the creator. The cause of evil and all suffering is the creator. The cause of pleasure and all triumphing is God. The cause of evil is God. Nothing can exist without governance of God. Nothing can exist without the parameters of God. Nothing can exist beside or apart from God. I hope I made it clear in this live video. I hope you enjoyed the live video, and I hope these give you food for your meditation. Thank you for joining us. For those of you who have joined us to Maha Yogi YouTube channel, make sure that you share this information with somebody who is in need and doesn't understand the concept of good and evil. All these laws of the Kybalion, or the 7 laws of Tao, they back one another, and none can exist without the other. Every one of these laws or principles reinforce one another. The cause of all is God. You understand? God is the cause and we are the effect. Meaning, the cause of all evil is God. Why? Because evil is equally important to God, equally important. Yes. So if you have any questions, you can ask them. I see somebody saying, this is Yash. Yash is saying, bro, you see cricket. I do not understand, my friend. I am sorry. Yash also says that they would like to see my house's outside view. I will try to do that during the day. Or maybe that would be dangerous. Maybe stalkers would finally get a chance to stalk me. Maybe it's not such a good idea. Okay, I see that there's no questions. So guys, for those of us who are in the southern hemisphere, we have already entered the new year according to our ancient calendar. Here in South Africa, we have entered into the new year. Every year begins on the season of spring. We went into spring in September. We have went into the new year. As we will be approaching winter next year around May. That would mean that we would be going into the last part of our new year, of this year, meaning. So we will be going into another year, September, due to our geographical location and the traveling of the sun. The Hindus also know of this phenomena whereby Surya travels from the north and southern hemispheres. Surya is currently in the southern hemisphere, which is why in the western hemisphere you have winter currently because the sun is this side, and when the sun goes back to the western hemisphere we would be in winter. So but because now we are using Gregorian calendar, we will be referring to this time of the year as the end of the year, and this is the end of 2025. 2025 came with its challenges due to the fact that it's a year number 9. This year forces us to get rid of our old habits that no longer serve us. Most of us lost our relationships that were not serving us in a good way. Most of us, we were getting out of cycles of self-sabotage. Most of us were finding liberation during this year, with many significant cosmological events or cosmic events happening, like what was it, the blood moon eclipse, which I got to witness for the first time in my life, or rather for the first time in my life I got to pay attention to that. The energy was quite intense. Did a few mantras, and I could say that it put me where I wanted to be. So this put me into reflection or meditation about the certain patterns of self-sabotage that we put ourselves under. Thinking in a way which is not aligned to our true purpose during such major cosmic events entraps or enslaves us into the cycles which are not pleasurable to us. Simply thinking negatively during such a cosmic event will result inevitably in negativity. So it is good to always think positive, to always expect positive. Should such cosmic events happen, you will always find yourself in a positive side of life. Earlier in this year, we had that, I think it was it a retrograde? It was a what portal 4 what I think it was April. Yeah, that thing, it was very, very significant also. No, I think it was before, man. I think that thing happened in February, or rather, no, I could feel the build-up of that cosmic event happening prior to it happening, because I saw already in my life things were happening that were building up to that point of my life where I got to experience a change. And this was due to Rahu. I don't know what Rahu was doing, but I finally got to reap the benefits of it. I think it was a retrograde or something, but it was a major thing where illusions were being destroyed and such. So this year was a very, very fruitful year, very challenging but fruitful. Um, Remember, suffering, evil, negativity is always necessary for existence to continue. Existence cannot happen without either of the two poles. You cannot generate electricity from a positive charge. You will require a negative charge. Both forces are actually one force, the cause of all, which is God. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Gangadhara Shiva Gangadhara Hara Hara Boli Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Hara Hara Boli Namah Shivaya. So thank you guys. I'll see you next time. May you have a wonderful Christmas and a happy new year. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya.